Hey y'all, I'm setting my timer so I know how long this video is. All right, today's lesson. Oh wait, I just need to. I don't know. Today's lesson is graphing in slope-intercept form. So you know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and today I'm going to teach you how to graph from slope-intercept form using the slope and the y-intercept, the two items that slope-intercept form gives you, and why it's nice. Let's get this up. And why it's nice to have the slope-intercept form. So to begin, I have got to move this box over here because I don't like it. Oh, there we go. To begin, just to review, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope. B is your y-intercept. That means where it crosses the y-axis. And then you have an ordered pair. X and y is like an ordered pair, any ordered pair on the lines. Your slope is rise over run, and then there's four types of slope: positive, negative, zero, and undefined slope. So today we're going to be talking about those four types of slopes. Oh, B is the y-intercept. And then M is your slope. I didn't realize I was defining it for you right there. And we've talked about y equals mx plus b before, so today I'm going to teach you how to graph using slope-intercept form. Example number 1, graph this equation, y equals negative x plus 7. So that is an equation, and I'm going to teach you how to graph it without making a table. We've already graphed with making a table of x and y values, but if you don't have a table, if you have it in slope-intercept form, then it's you can just go straight to graphing. So first things first is we identify the slope and the y-intercept. From this problem, the slope is negative 1, not negative 1x. A lot of people, for some reason, will put a negative 1x, but the slope is negative 1, and the y-intercept is 7. This is the point 0, 7, because the y-intercept is going to be where any x is 0. If it's on the y-axis, then the x-coordinate is going to be 0. So first, we identify the slope and the y-intercept. Step 2 is you graph the y-intercept. We graph the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 7. That means I'm going to go up to 7, and I'm going to put a dot at 7, positive 7, because it's a plus 7. So step 2 is you graph the y-intercept. Step 3 is you count your slope. And what I mean by counting slope is that we're actually going to use the slope, and we're going to say rise over run. Now, because it's negative, that means I want to go in a negative direction, and it's going to be 1 over 1, negative 1 over 1, rise, run. So let me show you what that means. So I'm going to start at your y-intercept. Don't start at 0. Start at the y-intercept. And I'm going to count down 1, over 1, and put a dot. And I'm going to do it again. Down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. And you can see the line that's starting to form. Now, if you ran out of room, I'm not running out of room, but if you ran out of room, you can always go the other way. If it's a negative slope, I can go up 1, and then I can go left. Up 1, left, up 1, left. Because the negative could be on the bottom. So once you have a good few many dots, now we can connect it. Now, I'm looking for a ruler. I'm in Miss Horvath's room. I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to do my best to connect. Make sure you have arrows on both sides. And that is how you graph in slope-intercept form. I'm going to turn the slide off. There you go. You're going to graph in slope-intercept form using the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, example 2. Now, in this example, it is not given to us in slope-intercept form. It's actually given to us in a different form. So I'm going to show you how to solve for y, or put it into slope-intercept form. So come down here, solve for y. Write that down. So here are just a few steps to help you solve for y. So the first thing you want to do is you want to move x over across the equal sign. And what I mean by that is we want to move x on the other side of the y. Now in this equation, the x is already on the opposite side of the y. The equal sign is kind of like your bridge, and the x is already over. So we've already done step 1, step 4. So step 2 is to get y alone. What I mean by that is get y alone. Right now, 2 is being multiplied by y. Y is not by itself. It's 2y. So there's 2 y's. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to divide. You need to write the equation over here. I'm going to divide by 2 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So I have to divide all of that by 2. I have to divide both of those by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I just have 1y. So again, I'm canceling out anything so I can get the y by itself. 3 over 2, equals 3 over 2x. So again, do you see my 3 over 2? I want to keep it as a fraction because that's going to be my slope. That's my m. I don't want to put it in a decimal. Minus 10 divided by 2 is 5. So here is my equation. Y equals 3 over 2x minus 5. And this was called solving for y. So my slope is 3 over 2, and my y-intercept is negative 5. Now, I can use that, and I can go back to my steps up here. First, I'm going to put a dot at my y-intercept. So negative 5, negative 5. And now I'm going to use my slope, and remember slope is rise 3, run 2. It's positive, so I'm visualizing what a positive slope looks like. I want to kind of already have in my mind an idea I'm going in a positive direction. So from my y-intercept, remember, don't go back to the origin. From my y-intercept, I'm going to rise 3 and run 2. Put a dot. Going to rise 3 more and then go over 2. You can do this several times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But then you can also go the other direction, go down 1, 2, 3, and then left. Because if you go down 3 and then left 2 negatives, if you divide 2 negatives, you end up with a positive. 1, 2, 3, 2, okay? So now I can connect my dots. Again, I wish I had a ruler. Make sure you have your arrows at the end. And that's how you graph it using slope-intercept form. But first, we put it into slope-intercept form, which is a big, big concept. All right, on the back, here we go. Example 3, graph this equation, but it's not in slope-intercept form. So we are going to put it into slope-intercept form. So come over here and let's rewrite the equation. And then I told you to write the steps. So to solve for y, first, move the x over across the equal sign. So in this equation, my y and my x are on the same side. So I need to move my x over by adding 4x to both sides. I'm adding 4x to both sides. Those are going to cancel. And I'm left with 3y, or negative 3y, equals 4x minus 12. We want to put that first. Let's make a note. Put x first because we want to put it in slope-intercept form. So my second step, I moved x over. My second step is to get the y by itself, to get the y alone. So I'm going to divide by negative 3, and then I need to divide that side also by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by 3 is 1. 4 divided by negative 3. Again, don't do decimals. Just leave it as negative 4/3 x. So do you see my fraction? 4 over negative 3 is the same as negative 4/3. And then negative 12 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4, so plus 4. Oh, whoops. So now I have it in slope-intercept form. Negative 4/3 is my slope, and my y-intercept is 4. You gotta see my time, okay? So now I'm going to start at the y-intercept. You always start at the y-intercept. So I'm going to start at 4. And my slope is -4/3. So that means it's going down. Rise over run. So it doesn't matter. You can go up or you can go down. I'm going to go down first. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then over 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put a dot. I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 3, 1, 2, 3, and put a dot. You can also go the opposite direction. You can go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, if you're running out of room. Now, once you have a good number of dots, you can, I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, there. So if you had a ruler, that would be great, but if not, do the best you can. And now I have graphed, and I have a negative slope, and I used my y-intercept and my slope. All right, so we have some special cases. If there's only one variable, just an x or just a y, those are going to be special cases. Those are going to be your horizontal or your vertical lines. And in these cases, what I would say is it's best to make a table to kind of show you what you're doing. If you have an equation that says x equals 4, that means all the x values are 4. And no matter what the y values are, we can make up y values. I'm going to put -1, 0, 1. I'm just making those up. You could put hundreds, 200s. But because my grid is so small, that wouldn't make sense. Now I'm going to graph these points. 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, 4, 0, 4, 1. And maybe you see the pattern that would continue, but this would form a vertical line, and the slope is undefined. That's why this is a special case, because the slope is undefined. We can't put it in slope-intercept form because the slope is undefined. Now in this special case, y is -2. Again, I would encourage you to make a little table. -2, -2, -2. And the y values, you can pick what you want. So I would pick -1, 0, 1. And then we would graph -1, -2, 0, -2, 1, -2. And maybe you see the pattern, but all the y values are -2. So when we connect, we get a horizontal line, and the slope is 0. And the slope is 0. So that's why it just says y equals -2. If there's only one variable, either an x or a y, you're going to have a special case. And that's fine. Just remember that you have special cases. Not every line is going to be diagonal. All right? So, real world, or you try number 5. Put both equations in slope-intercept form and identify the slope and y-intercepts. What do you notice about the slopes and y-intercepts? Okay, so you have 2 equations, and then you're going to answer on the Google quiz. Remember to move your x first, and then get y alone. So I'm just going to kind of get you started on this first one, and then you're going to have to go to the Google quiz. If this is like my bridge, you know, this is kind of like in the middle, the equal sign, I need to move the x over, and so I'm going to subtract 2x. I'm not dividing, I'm just subtracting. 3y equals -2x minus 9. That's a -2x because the 2x has a minus in front of it. -2x minus 9. Then I'm going to divide by 3 to get my y alone. -2/3. Do you see your slope right here? -2/3 x. And then -9 divided by 3 is -3. So I just did the first one for you. So I want you to do the second one. And what do you notice about the slopes and y-intercepts? Okay? And then go to the Google quiz and you can put your answer in.